The world is witnessing a seismic shift in global economics and power dynamics as China and Russia boldly declare their permanent divorce from the US dollar. This unprecedented move is not just an economic strategy. It is a direct challenge to American hegemony and a brazen statement of defiance against what they perceive as the overreach of U.S. economic sanctions. For too long, the U.S. has wielded its currency like a weapon, imposing crippling sanctions and manipulating global markets to serve its own interests. The decision by China and Russia to abandon the U.S. dollar is a revolutionary act of economic warfare, aiming to dismantle the financial monopoly that the U.S. has enjoyed for decades. Critics argue that this de-dollarization is nothing short of an economic rebellion, a calculated strategy to undermine U.S. influence and establish a new world order. The U.S. has repeatedly used its financial dominance to stifle competition and punish those who dare to challenge its supremacy. By ditching the dollar, China and Russia are not only protecting their own economies from U.S. sanctions, but are also setting the stage for a broader global resistance against American economic tyranny. This provocative move signals the beginning of the end for the U.S. dollar's reign, ushering in an era where power is more evenly distributed and no single nation can unilaterally dictate the terms of international trade.
Своевременное совместное решение обеспечить перевод двухсторонних расчетов в национальные валюты. Сегодня уже 90% всех платежей проводятся в рублях и юанях. Мы сейчас говорили о том, в узком составе, о том, по каким направлениям дальше будем развивать наши отношения. И все это в интересах как российской, так и китайской экономики.
The implications of this decision are far-reaching and controversial. It raises critical questions about the future of global finance and the stability of international relations. Will other nations follow suit, abandoning the U.S. dollar in favor of more equitable financial arrangements? How will the U.S. respond to this existential threat to its economic dominance? As the world watches this high-stakes drama unfold, one thing is clear: the days of unquestioned American financial supremacy are numbered. Stay with us till the end as we unravel the intricate web of economic and geopolitical shifts triggered by this historic decision, exploring the motivations, implications, and potential outcomes of China and Russia's daring gamble. Hello and welcome back to Innovative Check YouTube channel, where we delve into the innovative and transformative projects changing our world. If you're new to the channel and enjoy learning about innovation stories around the world, you've come to the right place. Please subscribe, like, and comment to help boost our videos on YouTube. Russia and China have declared a dramatic breakup with the US dollar. Now 90% of their trade is conducted using their own currencies, the Russian ruble and Chinese yuan. This decision was reinforced during a high-level discussion between Russian President Vladimir Putin and China's Xi Jinping, which focused on strengthening the BRICS alliance and advancing their mutual interest without the American currency. Both leaders have committed to nurturing what they call a comprehensive partnership and strategic operation. For the better part of 3 years now, the BRICS nations have been advocating for de-dollarization, believing that it is the best thing to do not just for their economies but for the global economy at large. This move is also a strategy to encourage other BRICS nations to follow suit, setting a precedent for the entire global economy to move away from the US dollar for good. Putin has said that he seeks to undermine the US dollar's traditional dominance and free BRICS economies from external pressures or sanctions, particularly those caused by Western countries. One of the most ambitious aspects of the BRICS financial strategy is the potential creation of a common currency for the bloc, and according to Putin, the plans for that are still very much underway. This idea was discussed extensively during the 14th BRICS summit, during which the Russian president announced plans to explore a new global reserve currency, which would operate alongside the national currencies already in use. The potential for a BRICS currency has received support from various member nations, including Brazil. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva expressed his endorsement, questioning the current global currency dynamics dominated by the US dollar. Despite the enthusiasm, the bloc's walk to a common currency is filled with challenges. In 2023, speculation about an announcement of a BRICS currency at the upcoming summit turned out to be overly optimistic. Moreover, the reactions from other countries have been mixed. For instance, India resisted a Russian proposal to conduct oil transactions in yuan, opting for the rupee or US dollar instead. Interest in the BRICS economic model is growing, with South Africa's BRICS ambassador, Anil Sukla, revealing that up to 40 countries have expressed interest in joining the alliance. Just this year, the 2023 BRICS summit saw the inclusion of several new members. However, Saudi Arabia and Argentina have notably declined to join. Just a quick reminder to hit the like button below. YouTube has been restricting my videos a lot recently because of bots, so your like does help out this video massively in terms of the algorithm in YouTube. The concept of a unified BRICS currency remains controversial. Critics argue it could create economic dependencies, particularly on the Chinese yuan, which might not be in the best interest of all member states. Furthermore, the diverse economic bases of the BRICS countries will bring additional challenges to the adoption of a single currency. The US dollar's role as the dominant global reserve currency has decreased. Though it remains the most widely used, its share of the reserve currency market has decreased as the euro and other currencies have gained traction. It is generally believed that introducing a BRICS currency would weaken the effectiveness of US sanctions, shifting away from the US dollar. China and Russia have also criticized the US for its sanctions on China. The sanctions, which target various sectors including technology and trade, have been seen by both nations as an attempt to stifle their growth and influence. The sanctions imposed by the US on China include restrictions on semiconductor sales and technology transfers, particularly those involving companies like Huawei. This has prompted China to accelerate its efforts to become self-reliant in critical technologies. The Chinese government has invested heavily in domestic semiconductor production, with companies like TSMC and AL being pivotal in this strategy. The U.S. sanctions have also affected China's access to advanced manufacturing equipment and materials. In response, China has doubled down on its Made in China 2025 initiative, which aims to reduce dependence on foreign technology and boost its capabilities in areas like AI, robotics, and biotechnology. The sanctions have not only strained U.S.-China relations, but have also had broader implications for global supply chains and technological advancements. The move to ditch the US dollar by China and Russia is seen as a direct response to these sanctions. By reducing their reliance on the US currency, both countries aim to shield their economies from the impacts of American economic policies. This shift is also part of a broader strategy to build a more multipolar world, where economic power is more evenly distributed. The BRICS nations, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, represent a significant portion of the world's population and economic output. By collaborating more closely and reducing their dependence on the US dollar, these countries hope to create a more balanced global economic system. This strategy includes not only the potential for a common currency, but also increased trade and investment among BRICS members. The de-dollarization trend is not limited to the BRICS nations. Other countries have also expressed interest in reducing their reliance on the US dollar. For example, countries in the EU have been exploring ways to strengthen the euro's role in international trade and finance. Similar nations in Asia and the Middle East have been looking at ways to diversify their currency reserves and reduce their exposure to the US dollar. The US, for its part, has been watching these developments closely. While the dollar remains the world's dominant reserve currency, its share of global reserves has been gradually declining. The Federal Reserve and other U.S. policymakers are aware of the challenges posed by de-dollarization and are working to maintain the dollar status. However, they also recognize that the global economic landscape is changing, and they must adapt to these new realities. The shift away from the U.S. dollar is a complex and multifaceted process. It involves not only economic and financial considerations, but also geopolitical and strategic factors. For China and Russia, reducing their reliance on the US dollar is part of a broader effort to assert their independence and increase their influence on the global stage. For other countries, it is a way to diversify their economic relationships and reduce their vulnerability to external shocks. As the world continues to evolve, the role of the US dollar and other major currencies will undoubtedly be a key area of focus. The decisions made by China, Russia, and other countries will have far-reaching implications for the global economy and the balance of power. It remains to be seen how successful the BRICS nations and others will be in their efforts to de-dollarize and create a more multipolar economic system. However, what is clear is that the era of unquestioned US dollar dominance may be coming to an end, and a new chapter in global economic relations is beginning. If you are enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe, share the video and comment. The growing move away from the US dollar by China, Russia, and other nations signals a fundamental shift in the global economic order. This transition is underpinned by various strategic and economic motivations, reflecting a desire to escape the financial dominance and political influence of the United States. Both China and Russia have articulated their displeasure with U.S. economic sanctions, which they argue unfairly target their technological and economic progress. China's accelerated efforts to become self-reliant in critical technologies is a direct response to the restrictive measures imposed by the U.S. The sanctions targeting companies such as Huawei and cutting off access to vital semiconductor components have spurred Beijing to redouble its initiatives like Made in China 2025. This initiative aims to advance China's manufacturing capabilities in key sectors, including artificial intelligence, robotics, and biotechnology. By focusing on innovation and domestic production, China aims to mitigate the impact of these sanctions and reduce its dependency on foreign technology. Russia, on the other hand, has been similarly motivated by sanctions that have affected its energy and financial sectors. The restrictions on Russian banks and oil companies have pushed Moscow to seek alternative economic partners and diversify its trade relationships. The collaboration between Russia and China is a testament to this strategic pivot. By conducting trade in their national currencies, they aim to insulate their economies from the volatility of the US dollar and the punitive measures of the West. The BRICS nations' exploration of a common currency underscores their commitment to de-dollarization. The potential creation of a BRICS currency, discussed extensively at their summits, aims to provide a stable alternative to the US dollar. This new currency would operate alongside existing national currencies, facilitating trade and investment within the bloc. However, the path to a common currency is fraught with challenges. The diverse economic conditions and policies of BRICS member countries make it difficult to achieve consensus on such a significant financial integration. Despite these challenges, the momentum towards a BRICS currency continues to grow. Brazil's president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, has been vocal in his support, questioning the rationale behind the US dollar's dominance. He argues that a more balanced global financial system would benefit all nations, reducing the ability of any single country to impose its will through economic means. This sentiment is echoed by other BRICS leaders who see de-dollarization as a way to reclaim economic sovereignty and foster a more equitable global economy. India's cautious approach to the idea of a BRICS currency illustrates the complexities involved. While supportive of greater financial cooperation within the bloc, India has been reluctant to fully embrace the yuan as a medium for trade. This hesitation reflects broader concerns about China's growing influence and the need to maintain a balanced power dynamic within the BRICS framework. Similarly, South Africa has expressed reservations, highlighting the economic disparities among member countries as a potential obstacle to a unified currency. The geopolitical implications of this shift are profound. By reducing their reliance on the US dollar, China and Russia are not only challenging the financial hegemony of the United States, but also reshaping the contours of global power. This realignment has the potential to create new alliances and economic partnerships, altering the traditional dynamics of international relations. As more countries express interest in joining the BRICS alliance, the influence of this bloc is likely to expand, further diminishing the centrality of the US dollar in global trade. The response from the United States has been multifaceted. While policymakers acknowledge the challenges posed by de-dollarization, they also emphasize the enduring strengths of the US dollar. The dollar's liquidity, stability, and widespread acceptance continue to make it a preferred choice for international transactions. However, there is a growing recognition that maintaining this status requires proactive measures. The US must address its fiscal policies, trade deficits, and the overall health of its economy to preserve the dollar's dominance. In addition to economic considerations, the strategic use of sanctions as a tool of foreign policy is being reevaluated. The effectiveness of sanctions depends largely on the target country's reliance on the U.S. financial system and the dollar. As more countries seek alternatives, the leverage provided by sanctions diminishes. This shift necessitates a more nuanced approach to foreign policy, one that balances economic coercion with diplomatic engagement. The broader implications of de-dollarization extend beyond the immediate geopolitical landscape. The transition to a multipolar financial system could lead to greater economic stability and resilience. By diversifying their currency reserves, countries can reduce their exposure to the risks associated with a single dominant currency. This diversification also encourages more balanced and sustainable economic growth. Nations are less likely to be subjected to the boom and bust cycles, often associated with reliance on the US dollar. Thank you for your attention, and I welcome your thoughts and questions on this complex and vital subject. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence. Your subscriptions and likes motivate us to generate more content, so please keep supporting us. Check out this video showing on your screen right now, and I will see you on the other side.